all these little annoying things that get you in the end and make you like kind of feel overwhelmed. So if you just have all this prep work done, you're golden. What's up, universe? It's Julie here and welcome back to our channel. This is day 3 of our countdown to Thanksgiving Day prep reality show type of thing. So I hope you've been enjoying days 1 and 2, and if you haven't checked them out, go back and check those out. We'll leave them down in the links for you below. Today is Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. Joe is helping to clean our home and then pulling out this folding table, and then he's gonna soon grab the coolers and try to help clean the bathrooms and things like that. This whole table is still a mess, so I gotta do that too. Gotta clean that. This is where we're actually gonna sit to eat, and then I'm gonna pull down tablecloths and get my platters ready. So if you haven't checked out our first Thanksgiving video we put out in this series, how to tackle Thanksgiving like a pro, make sure you go back and watch that, because I do have a bunch of little tips that I'm gonna be utilizing, especially today. So I do have, you know, the luxury that Joe is home, like he has a flexible schedule so that I can interrupt him to do this. But he also mapped off in his day knowing that we're doing this to help me a lot today. By his request, I texted him all of my to-do list, and some of it's just like very specific instructions about cleaning the bathroom. I was like, make a mixture of 50-50 vinegar and water in the spray bottle and then spray it all over, like things like that. He's already knocked off a few of these things on the list because he just had it, and I said you can do it at your own time between today and tomorrow. I don't even have to communicate with him much anymore. He just kind of looks at it and knocks it off, and then we can be on the same page. So that's like teamwork. Guys, I almost freaked out. I found my sage just fine, but they almost ran out of time, and I had to ask someone, and there was like a bunch of rosemary but no thyme, and she dug up one thyme for me. There's actually about like 2 packages left in the whole store, so thank you, Lord. The parsley. I also feel happy because I heard somebody walking by talking to their mom in Korean saying that they can't find any sage, and I just, like a good eavesdropper, walked over and said, "Are you looking for sage? I found it." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And girl, I know your relief about finding the herb you need. Yes, guys, I found my shallots. Perfect. This is making me simultaneously happy that I'm finding the remaining ingredients, but also frustrated that I didn't come here in the first place. It just wasn't on my route when I was mapping out my shopping trips, but man, I'm finding everything here. There was a high wind warning issued for today and tomorrow. I think tomorrow's supposed to be worse on Thanksgiving Day, but it like takes your breath away. I was like fighting with the shopping cart, and I like was gasping for breath. But you know, I just want to say that even though I'm going through these shenanigans with the prep and everything, I want to take a moment to tell you that I am truly thankful that I get to host Thanksgiving. It's a lot of work, of course, but there were many times where we were either alone because we were out just in California by ourselves with no family around. And I even remember before my married days and everything, when I was working as a production baker in New York City, I couldn't take the day off because holidays are like the biggest events. Like I had to work on Thanksgiving Day and then go home to Pennsylvania to my parents' house that day just in time for the dinner. So I couldn't help with prep or cooking or any of that. And so it didn't feel as festive. It was just like showing up for dinner. Yeah, I'm just thankful that I get to do this and have the flexibility to even do something fun like film this for you guys. It feels good to be back home knowing that I don't have to go out again and I can finally start on my prep. But before I really start, I gotta just really get myself going. In my Tackle Thanksgiving Like a Pro video, I mentioned to empty out your dishwasher and to clear out your fridge space. So I'm gonna do that first so that I can start off with a clean slate. As I prep, I can just put dirty dishes in there, and I don't have to play Tetris or Jenga with my fridge. And I also had a really big spill on my stove the other day and I couldn't clean it. Look at that. That is some gorgeousness there. You can just estimate. You don't have to make, it doesn't have to be perfect. If it's a little stronger in vinegar, that's fine.
Hold on.
Painter's tape. My trusty prep sheet, now all rumpled. I took the staple out, and I'm gonna use my own tip and stick these up on the cabinets. And Joe's making vinegar solution for me to clean the bathrooms and to clean the stove. By the way, this is how they always made us clean our workstations and stoves at the end of the day in culinary school. So it always smelled like vinegar. You just gotta get used to it. While I'm waiting for the magic to happen over there, I'm gonna start by clearing out my fridge. Now, this already has pretty much all of my Thanksgiving ingredients in here, including this turkey, which I did put in this pan. I'm not gonna cook it in the pan. I just didn't want turkey juices all over my fridge. And so it all fits, but this looks crazy, right? So I'm gonna use my own tip of clearing out any of these condiments or fruits or vegetables or anything else that doesn't need to be in here right away. And you guys, remember I told you about the to-do list that I sent Joe through text? And look, he actually used it and made bullet points in it, and he's been checking them off. I already said that you accomplished like 3 or 4 items, and you did, see? So there we go. Teamwork makes the dream work. Well, your coffee's ready. Oh my, see what I'm saying about avalanche Jenga? Ow! Oh my gosh, the butter just fell on my foot. I don't need all these oranges. I might keep like 1 or 2 just for decoration for the turkey platter though. Korean radish, don't need that right now. Gochujang, doenjang, sweet chili garlic sauce. It's basically all of my Asian ingredients. And use this opportunity to actually clean out your fridge, like leftover things and bibbidi bobs that you don't need or that are kind of like getting lost in your fridge. And look guys, Joe's actually helping me. This wasn't on his list, but I'm surprised. He's actually unloading the dishwasher.
I know because I was helping editing the video, earlier video, so I know she likes to have this all cleaned.
Look at how much real estate all this was taking up. This is all in the fridge right now. Like all these naked juices, sodas, all these stackable can things, which obviously are so good. These are from the Dollar Tree. Sidebar, if you ever want to know my favorite Dollar Tree items or you want to see like a Dollar Tree haul from me, make sure you subscribe to our vlog channel, Life with Julie Yoon, and also let me know over there that you want to see stuff like that. And I'll maybe post one for you. Moving on to ice chest number 2. Okay, so here's my fridge right now. At least my mental space is clear and I can get started soon. Let's do this thing. I'm just gonna prep my herbs in advance and then use the produce bag it came with as your garbage bag. Pull out your salad spinner. I'm just gonna spin it dry after rinsing. And this will save me a lot of time tomorrow when I use parsley to sprinkle in this and on that. What I'm probably gonna end up doing is after it's dry, just pre-chop it, like pre-mince it and put it in a ramekin. Then I just have like chopped parsley. I know I'm also gonna need thyme for my sweet and spicy nuts. I just remember that, so I'm just gonna start chopping this. I'm just gonna look through all of my recipes and see where I need thyme and then try to estimate how much I need. Gotta get your measuring supplies ready. So in this case, I realized that I'm gonna need about 4 teaspoons of chopped thyme throughout my recipes, but I'm also gonna need 4 just sprigs of thyme with just the leaves torn off of them, left whole. So I'm gonna do that first. And then I gotta make sure that I have like a whole bunch of thyme for the turkey, the inside of the cavity. So just keep that in mind and get all of that ready. I got my chopped up thyme here, and then I got my whole leaves, and then I got the rest of my thyme, which I'm gonna use for my turkey later tomorrow. Just gonna put it in a slightly damp paper towel. Stick it in a Ziploc bag, and then mark it herbs. And I'll do the same thing with the parsley too, and I just keep this in the fridge so you know that it's cleaned, it's ready, and you know what it is at first glance in the fridge. You guys, I'm just gonna be doing the same thing with the sage. I'll go through the recipe and pick out whatever needs to be chopped for the sage and do that amount. And I'll do the same thing with parsley. With parsley, I might just do a generic ramekin. I'm just gonna try to do that on my own so I can do it quickly and speed it along. Plus, I'm enjoying listening to music while I work, but I can't play it when I'm filming because of copyright issues, so, you know. Here's my little finely chopped parsley, and then you just get a wet or a damp paper towel, put on top, and this should be good for tomorrow, so just keep this in the fridge. You can do the same thing with all of these herbs too, but I'm actually going to probably use them today. In case you're new to this little reality show series that I've been doing, I mentioned this a few times, but this is actually a recipe from our blog, chefjulian.com. This is sweet and spicy nuts, so we'll leave a link for you down below. But every time I make this, it's so easy. I'm like, why don't I make this more often? And it smells glorious. Also, it's really important to go ahead and read your recipe. So I'm working on my stuffing, which means I have it right here next to me, eye level next to my workstation. And I was going to start on the aromatics first, like chopping up the vegetables so that I can saute the filling. But then I was like, you know what? Let me look through. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have to dry out the bread for 90 minutes. And so I'm going to be doing that first, drying out the bread. So that means I have to chop up the bread, dry it out. While it's drying out, then I can chop up the rest of the ingredients for the stuffing. So look ahead so that you know when to do what and you're not caught like, oh man, now I gotta wait 90 minutes. I'm cutting up my bread quite large because I like it a little bit chunky. I think that's the advantage of chopping up your own bread instead of buying a pre-made kit. All right, cranberry sauce is percolating away. I'm almost done chopping my cubes of bread. Don't mind my crying, I'm cutting some pungent onions. So I decided that while I'm actually prepping for the stuffing, I'm using similar ingredients for the stuffed mushrooms because it's sausage stuffed mushrooms. I decided to add a little bit of sausage in my stuffing because I just like it. So I'm already chopping up the garlic. And yes, I'm using my cheating peeled garlic I got at Aldi, and it's, trust me, it was worth it. So I have plates like this where I'm putting my mise en place. It's like the French style, everything in its place. You do all your chopping before you saute. So while I'm pulling this out, I'm gonna get a second plate and I'm gonna prep the mise en place for the sausage mixture for my stuffed mushrooms. So I went ahead and I moved my stuffing ingredients and recipe here, and then I put my sausage stuffed mushroom recipe right next to it so I know what I have to do. I'm just going to be chopping away and crying and prepping two things at once. And right now I have the breadcrumbs toasting away, but nothing is on the stove. So ideally I would like to get at least one of these mixtures on the stove, if not two of them at the same time. While my stuffing mixture is cooking on the stove, I'm gonna go ahead with my mushroom mixture. So I'm gonna cut up some shallots. And then I gotta go ahead and clean and scoop out the mushrooms and chop up the stems. So it's good that you start the prep early because you're like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of prep to do. And I kind of forgot that there's so many steps in all these recipes. So I am not quite ahead of the game, but I'm not feeling that stressed. I feel like all the busy work is getting done. Oh, you're gonna catch me? Oh no, I better run away. Ah! I gotta hide under the bridge. Uh-oh. My timer is going off, Lincoln.
Yes.
I gotta go take the little bread out of the oven. Okay? I'll be right back. Alexa, stop. Okay, can I have a kiss?
Yeah.
Thank you. This is my overview right now. There's a lot of activity happening here. But that's how I like to keep it. I'm always doing multiple things at once. It's the only efficient way. And I'm playing with Lincoln. I'm coming.
I see you, Mommy.
I'm taking a break from the kitchen to set up the table out here with the tablecloth, platters, and all that because Lincoln is here and I just want to like be able to spend some time with him even though it was a very busy day. So he's just sitting here and I'm gonna set up. And this is one less thing that I have to do tomorrow, and this was also in my tips video, and I really do this every year because this is the last thing you want to think about when the guests are about to arrive. You just want to have it all set. So the plan is to put out my tablecloths, pull out my platters for each dish, and put post-it notes on top of each dish so I know what goes in what.
Uh-oh. Oh, so wow, Mommy.
It is. Okay, so these are my platters and it barely fits on this table, and I just called my mother-in-law to make sure she would bring her own dish for this Korean noodle dish she's bringing. It'll be like the one Korean item on our table of traditional Thanksgiving food. And thank you, Joe, for taking care of Lincoln so that I could concentrate. You pulled one for the team. Okay, so technically all of these dishes still need to be rinsed, but I'm going to take a picture of this layout because I have different risers, and I think that's the key to making things fit. It also looks better when there's different heights and levels. So just use things around a house. Like for instance, this is an old macaroon box down here that I've saved for a rainy day, and it came in handy. And I would not say that I picked the best dishes for every dish, but I just didn't have enough platters. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be hosting a lot, just to make sure you have a nice stockpile of platters. And as you can tell, I usually like to stick to white, clear, or maybe wood. So I think that I'm going to stop it for here. I just am running out of time and I have a lot to do still, so I just want to move fast now, and I feel like I got enough angles and you got enough idea of what I'm doing. So I'll pick it up tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Thanksgiving Day actually, so I'll pick it up then. Obviously it'll be a marathon cooking day starting from early in the morning, so whatever I didn't show you today I'll fill you in on tomorrow. But I'm just gonna get going and finish up. I still have this whole table to clean up and set up as well, so that's on my to-do list before I go to sleep. And Joe is working on the edits of our video that you hopefully saw already. That'll be the last one that we post up probably before Thanksgiving, because obviously on Thanksgiving Day we're not going to be able to edit our videos. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you did, remember to push like and also subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so that you know when the next video like this one is coming out. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, no matter what, to start somewhere. Okay, thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye.